So a group of frogs were hopping contentedly through the woods, going about their froggy business, when two of them fell into a deep pit. All of the other frogs gathered around the pit to see what could be done to help their companions. When they saw how deep the pit was, the rest of the dismayed group agreed that it was hopeless and told the two frogs in the pit that they should just prepare themselves for their fate because they were as good as dead. Unwilling to accept this terrible fate, the two frogs began to jump with all their might. Some of the frogs shouted into the pit that it was hopeless and that the two frogs would not be in that situation if they'd been more careful, they'd been more obedient to the froggy rules, and had been more responsible. The other frogs continued sorrowfully shouting that they should have saved their energy and give up since they were already as good as dead. The two frogs continued jumping as hard as they could, and after several hours of desperate effort, they grew quite weary. Finally, one of the frogs took heed to the calls of his fellows. Spent and disheartened, he quietly resolved himself to his fate, lay down at the bottom of the pit, and died as the others looked on in helpless grief. The other frog continued to jump with every ounce of energy that it had, even though its body was racked with pain and he was completely exhausted. His companions began anew, yelling for him to accept his fate, to stop the pain, and to just die. The weary frog jumped harder, and wonder of wonders, finally leaped so high that he sprang from the pit. Amazed, the other frogs celebrated his miraculous freedom and then gathered round him and asked, "Why did you continue jumping when we told you that it was impossible?" Reading their lips, the astonished frog explained to them that he was deaf, and that when he saw their gestures and shouting, he thought that they were cheering him on. What he had perceived as encouragement inspired him to try harder and to succeed against all odds. This simple frog story contains a very powerful lesson. Encouraging or positive words can uplift someone and help them or help her make it through the day, as well as destructive or negative words can cause deep wounds, so deep that they may destroy somebody's desire to continue trying and resolve to just quit, to give up and let their dreams die. So share with us. When has somebody's negative comments injured your confidence or derailed your progress? And/or tell us who in your circle of influence needs to hear more words of encouragement that you're going to give them today. Tell us that in the comments below.